As the most interesting homie in the world, I'm here to tell you about the most interesting things in the world. Like this. And no, it's not a cigar.
Some good
Hydrate after this, my friends.
This tastes like
He's Dr. Homie, cause he's a doctor and a homie. He's Dr. Homie, learn something from a homie. This is Dr. Homie.
What's up, beautiful people? Dr. Homie here with a little something to share with y'all since sharing is caring, except when it's herpes.
This is nothing. I cut myself shaving.
So lately, a new type of substance has been introduced onto the market. Legally this time. Sorta.
10 years ago, marijuana was not legal from a recreational standpoint in any state. If these ballot measures pass, it would be almost half the United States.
That's right. Cheech and Chong'ing have been right this entire time.
Is that a joint, man?
And I'm not talking about CBD lotion or soaps. I'm talking about straight up stickiest of the ickiest. That real sickest stuff.
Oh, wow, that one's sticky.
And these days, there's all sorts of different kinds. Blue Dream, Purple Haze, Skywalker, OG Kush, Girl Scout Cookies, Granddaddy Purple. Whether it's sativa, indica, or hybrid, it's likely available locally. Now, many of y'all been doing it for years, while some of y'all are newbies.
First time?
Yeah, you?
No.
Well, since it's becoming more widely available, you should be more knowledgeable of the good, the bad, and the ugly of weed. Actually, not ugly, because it's all beautiful, baby. Except if you're Cinderella's stepsisters, then they fugly.
I'm looking for the ugly stepsister.
Ah, there you are.
So let's go over some research findings scientists and doctors have been able to establish over the years. It can treat pain. I mean, no Sherlock. Considering that this is a drug that has little to no physical dependence compared to opioids, this is actually the miracle part of the drug.
It's a miracle.
Opioids and most surgical strength painkillers have crazy side effects like addiction, bowel obstructions, and the withdrawals which can cause actual pain and suffering as a symptom. Weed, on the other hand, doesn't have anything like that. THC, the psychoactive component of weed, acts on our own endocannabinoid receptors. Yes, your body makes its own cannabis, just without taxes. Endocannabinoids are produced in response to stress, pain, anxiety, and even singing and dancing. Their purpose is to help regulate these things, like relieving some pain or getting a natural high from singing.
Oh, baby, when you talk like that!
THC actually binds to the same receptors your endocannabinoids do, which are called cannabinoid receptors 1 and 2. Activating these receptors with marijuana has shown to be a significant pain management tool. Be careful though, using too much of an external substance would actually blunt our own body's ability to regulate these things ourselves.
How many blunts do you smoke in a day?
No, Snoop Dogg, not that kind of blunt, at least not yet.
You going to puff? You going to puff?
It can induce psychosis in schizophrenics earlier in life. Schizophrenia is a brain disease that we have an incomplete understanding of its exact cause, but we do know it's strongly related to genetics. That being said, if you have a family member who has ever been diagnosed with schizophrenia, you better not be token.
You okay?
I can't breathe.
Marijuana use is associated with developing schizophrenia earlier than you would otherwise, and can also trigger psychosis in schizophrenics, which is when you start to really hallucinate. It actually tends to make psychosis worse and hospitalizations more frequent. Not worth the risk if you have a family history. It's a sleep aid. So mostly with indica, and some people experience this with sativa strains, but having an edible or smoking a J to go to sleep is something people are doing regularly. It's no secret, potheads know how to relax. So it makes sense that it would help you fall asleep. It's bad sleep. What you may not know is the sleep you do get is still not great. Studies show that with THC in the system, the amount of time you spend in REM and deep sleep, the sleep levels that really recharges you decrease.
Y'all not gonna get a sleep because of me.
Therefore, you're not getting as restful a sleep as you would otherwise. Sure, if you're lacking good sleep for months, any sleep is better than no sleep. But over time, the poor sleep quality will catch up to you, and tokers have shown to either sleep too much or too little despite not being as tired during the day.
I'm not tired.
Considering all the necessary benefits sleep has to offer, you need that good quality 8 hours instead of some crap quality 4 or 12 hours. Like the guy on the couch. That guy's been sleeping for months. Whatever he's on, it must be really strong. It's an anxiolytic. Now take this with a grain of salt, or the whole shaker if you believe in ghosts.
Toss some salt over your right shoulder.
People do use it for their anxiety. 40 million adults in the US have anxiety or an anxiety disorder. That's a lot.
That's a lot of damage.
It's no secret that mental illness and psychiatric treatment still have a negative bias, even by those who suffer from the mental illness themselves. It actually causes anxiety. First of all, there's no telling who will actually be able to get an anti-anxiety effect versus a pro-anxiety effect.
Emotion, I don't even know what to think or feel.
Some people do get a calming and relaxing effect, while others may go into a paranoid and anxiety-ridden state. Our body is going to be used to a certain amount of endocannabinoids. What may be happening is you're overwhelming the body with too much THC. There are cannabinoid receptors in the brain's amygdala, which induces the fight or flight response in our body. Overwhelm the body with THC, and you can activate those responses and make you extremely fearful and paranoid.
And man, I ain't been right ever since then.
Not to mention, THC doesn't treat the actual cause of your anxiety in the long run, but rather just suppresses it temporarily while you're high. We're not doing ourselves any favors by not treating the underlying issues with therapy and longer acting and non-intoxicating treatments, like from selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors or cognitive behavioral therapy.
People say that time heals all wounds.
Helps induce appetites for people on chemo. Cancer sucks overall, but some chemotherapy treatments suck too because of all the side effects. One of them can be weight loss and appetite suppression. People can lose a couple of pounds or up to a large fraction of their overall body weight while on chemotherapy. Despite the weight loss, people will still not feel hungry and even feel grossed out by food.
Dig in.
So let's give them the munchies. A little THC and you'll be grabbing a bag of Funyuns in no time.
3 entire bags of Funyuns?
Funyuns are awesome.
Leads to early onset heart attacks. So over the last decade, a new finding was made. Regular tokers have been showing a significant increase in heart attacks in early ages. The mechanism for this finding is not completely clear yet. However, what we do know is that when you smoke, you inhale soot and chemicals, just like if you were smoking a cigarette. We already know that weed with cigarettes causes an additive effect for chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder or COPD. So it's not surprising that it shares another unfortunate complication with cigarettes by causing heart attacks earlier in life.
That's a promise.
I hope you learned something useful today. Remember, responsible use is about what's up. Make sure to hit that thumbs up or like button and share me with somebody you care about so they can learn a little something to help them out. From Dr. Homie.
Learn something from a homie. This is Dr. Homie.
Alright, Snoop, I'm coming.
Good boy, Spike.
You're welcome.